This song was sent to me about maybe 3.5 years ago by Melvin Crispell. He wrote this song for us. Since that time, he has passed away. But we're going to sing his song on tonight in dedication to him. I'm in Christ. I'm in Christ. I'm in Christ. Forever, never, nothing can take me out of his hand. I'm in Christ. Forever. I'm in Christ. I'm in Christ. I'm in Christ. Forever, never, nothing can take me out of his hand. I'm in Christ. Forever. I'm in Christ. I'm in Christ. I'm in Christ. Forever, never, nothing can take me out of his hand. I'm in Christ. Come on, little song that says, I'm in Christ. Come on, y'all want to sing a little bit with us? Come on, clap your hands, come on. Sopranos, let me hear you. Here we go, nothing can take, here we go. That's it. One more time, nothing can take me about his hand. One more time. Come on, nothing.
Blessings, everyone. Happy Wednesday to you. I pray that everyone is doing well today. I pray that everyone's day is going well. I pray that you guys have had an amazing week. Um, I was able to watch the live finally from Sunday, and um, after the word, it was some type of situation on Sunday. So it's good to be back. It's also good to see everyone in place. Charles Davis, bless you, man. Love you, man. I love you. It's my boy from Plainfield. Um, so it is a joy to see everyone. Uh, you guys give me one moment. All right. Sorry, guys. That was the doorbell. So it is, again, a joy to be back. Um, Elder Tillman, thank you. Thank you, son. You did a phenomenal job on Sunday. What I appreciate the most is you were yourself. And I think that's important when it comes to preaching, when it comes to teaching, and to every preacher and teacher. It's vital that you're always yourself, no matter what. I am extremely, extremely proud of you. Key, I love you. It's good to be back. It's good to be back. But it is vital that you're yourself at all times. And so it was good to see each of you in place, and each of you doing everything that is asked of you. And so that was an amazing, amazing thing to finally sit back and see, to the Levites and the sound of the tabernacle. Just an amazing group of people, and to every leader and member that was in place. Thank you for making sure that the that church continued to go on. Love you, Riley. Church continued to go on and continue to move. Um, and so I am excited for what the Lord is going to do, um, and what he's going to continue to provide for us and show us as his people. As you know, this coming Friday, we will be on the altar this coming Friday at 10 p.m. And we are going to meet the Lord. I don't know about you, but I cannot wait to get to the altar this coming Friday. So I am asking every single person, get in somebody's car, y'all carpool, y'all give each other gas, and meet me on the altar at 10 p.m. I am starting at 10 p.m. sharp. 10 p.m. I am starting at 10 p.m. I want us to pray throughout the night into the next day. And then we're going to go home. But I need everybody to join forces with me this Friday. I promise you, whatever you need from the Lord, Friday is going to be the day. Friday is going to be the day. Elder Tillman, I agree. Elder Kendra, absolutely. I am going. Lamika, I miss you too. I love you. Friday is going to be the day. I want you to get your friends, get your cousin, get your neighbor, get your coworkers, get the kids off the block, get the neighbors off the block, get the drunk off the corner, get the wino off the street, get the street walker. I want you to bring them to the altar. God is going to do an amazing, amazing thing on Friday. And I am excited. Our praise team will be there to usher us in. Our band will be there in place to worship with us. I encourage them to come and get what they need from God as well. We are going in as a unit. We are going in as a unit because we all need something from the Lord. Trust me when I tell you. Trust me when I tell you. You don't know what's coming down your alley. And what I learned today in one moment is your whole life can flip upside down and you won't even see it coming. But trust me when I tell you, when God is involved, there will always be a measure of victory that you experience. Okay. So no matter what you're going through, no matter what you're experiencing, I want you to bring all of that to the altar. And I'm telling you, God is going to change lives. God is going to heal bodies. God is going to eliminate depression. God is going to clean bloodstreams. God is going to heal wounded souls. God's going to repair weary minds. God is going to mend broken hearts. I'm telling you, there is a great cleansing, revitalizing, and renewing that is going to happen on Friday. And you do not want to miss this intimate moment with God. I want you to prepare yourself to find your spot, find your corner, find your place, find your position, find your posture. And we are going, listen, we're not asking God to meet us. We are going after God on Friday. Okay. So I'm sorry to our virtual viewers that normally worship with us. Prayer is a very intimate time, a very serious time. And because social media has the tendency to be very, very ignorant to the things of prayer, I don't want that sacred time to be misconstrued, misinterpreted, or use that as an inappropriate gesture. So it will be no live streaming. But listen, all are welcome to meet us on the altar. I'm not worried about nobody. I'm not thinking about nobody. I am going after God for myself because there are some things that I need the Lord to do. And I believe that the Lord is going to do it. Okay. Second thing is Sunday, 11:45. We have a meeting. We have a church meeting that I'm having at 11:45 in the morning. Everybody, please be on time. Everybody, please be on time. And listen, nobody is in trouble. Pastor's not coming to reprimand nobody. Nothing happened. Nobody did anything. There are some things that I need to share with you as we move the ministry forward and as we focus on the path forward. Okay. So I will be starting a series. I'm actually doing the introduction tonight on the path forward. We just came out of our series of suffering, and now we are on the path forward. And so I believe that God is going to do something great for us. All right. So Elder Tillman was scheduled. Let me say this. Elder Tillman was scheduled to teach tonight. But I asked him if I could step in. And he was so gracious to say, yes, Pastor, you can. I don't think many will fight if I asked to step in, but no, he was prepared and he was ready. But I asked him if I could step in because I want to, I feel oppressed to teach this lesson and start now. Somebody needs this. And so I asked him if I could step in today. And he said, yes, you can. He said, but Pastor, if you need me, I am ready. And so Elder Tillman, I want to say thank you for being prepared and allowing me to step in front of you tonight. Okay, so grab your Bibles and go. Let's go to Lamentations. I want you to go to Lamentations, Lamentations chapter 3, and we are going to. I'm going to be in Lamentations chapter 3, and I am going to be around verse 19, I believe. So Lamentations chapter 3. If you don't know where Lamentations is, some may not know. That was even a book. It's okay. It's right near Jeremiah. It's in the Old Testament. So if you know where the prophets are, Isaiah, go there. If you're at Song of Solomon, you're in the right area. Song of Solomon, Isaiah, Jeremiah, Lamentations is right there. So it's in the Old Testament. I know some people probably saying, Lamentations, what is that? It's all right. Get right there. Get right there. Hey, Shelly, I love you. I love you. Praying for you. Grab your Bibles and let's go to Lamentations chapter 3. Chapter 3. And I'm going to read a little bit tonight, and then I want to lay the foundation for what this is. And I want to encourage you to dive into your scripture studying, okay? And this path forward, I want many of you, especially the preachers, I want you to dive into your time of studying because God is going to speak to you in an unusual manner right now, okay? God's not going to speak to you like he normally has. God is getting ready to open up your minds and airwaves to things that you may not have understood before. Okay. So again, grab your, if you have it, say, I have it. Come on. I'm going to wait for everybody tonight. I'm not going to be long. If you have it, say, I have it. And if you have it, type it in the comments. I have it. So I know that I can go on. Say, I have it. I have it. I have it. I have it. If you have it, say, I have it. We are talking about the path forward. Lamentations chapter 3, verses 19 through 25. If you have it, just type in the comments, I have it. So I know that we are ready to move forward. So I know we're ready to move forward. I see one says, I have it. Come on, let me know you have it tonight. I want to make sure that you have this because this is important for our structuring and our beginning. I see two that say I have it. Come on, let me get 5 total that say I have it, and then I'll move on. Let me know you have it tonight. Lamentations chapter 3, verses 19 through 25. And if you see somebody that's not on, tell them, come on. Tell them, say, get on. Pastor's on tonight. Get on, get on, get on. I see 4. Come on, I need one more, and then I'm going to move. I need one more, and then I'm going to move to Lamentations chapter. There we go. All right, I got 5. Here we go. 19 says this. 19 says, remember my affliction and roaming, the wormwood and the gall. Verse 20 says, my soul still remembers and sinks within me. So Jeremiah says in 19, remember my affliction and roaming, the wormwood and the gall. I could teach on the wormwood and the gall, but I'm not going to even go there. My soul still remembers and sinks within me. All right. 21 says this affliction, this thing I recall to my mind, and therefore I have hope. Right? Through the Lord's mercies, we are not consumed because his compassions fail not. They are new every morning. Great is your faithfulness. And so if you want to know why you've been able to remain when others have quit, if you want to know how you've been able to stick through it when others have faltered, if you want to know how you survived 2.5 years of a pandemic when others have quit, left God, left the church, and left everything, recall to your mind that the Lord's mercies are the things that didn't allow you to be consumed with the thing that ultimately killed others. I say it again. If you want to know how you're still making it, right? It doesn't matter how you're making it, right? You may be crawling, you might be screaming, you might be scratching, right? If you want to know how you've made it through all of this when everyone else has seemed to fall out, quit, and turn their back, recall to your mind that the Lord's mercies are the things that didn't allow you to die in what others were consumed by. Okay? They fail not. They are new every morning. Every single morning, there's a brand new mercy that you wake up to. Every single day that you rise from your slumber, there's a new mercy attached to your name. Why? because of the faithful God that you serve. Pastor, what are you saying? The new mercies that you're experiencing from Tuesday to Wednesday has nothing to do with your inability to be faithful on Tuesday, because you got a faithful God on Tuesday and Wednesday. So even when you're unfaithful on Tuesday, you have a brand new mercy on Wednesday because of the faithful God that you serve, who's able to give you a brand new mercy, even though you weren't faithful the day before. Teach, Pastor. You've made it to the next day, not because you were faithful the day before, but because God was faithful on the next day. That's not even a lesson. That's not, but you have made it, and you have been able to continue to progress in a state when you haven't been as faithful as you should have been, because you serve a faithful God. So even when you were not faithful, God's faithfulness has still taken the reign. And so when you lay down in the night of being unfaithful, you wake up to a faithful God the next day that grants you brand new mercies. Brand new mercies he grants us the next day. Watch this. It says, the Lord is my portion. The Lord is my portion. The Lord is my portion, saith my soul. Therefore, I hope in him. The Lord is the thing that I need. Come on. The Lord is the Lord is that entity that feeds me when I'm hungry, that covers me when I'm uncovered, that keeps me when I'm lonely, that watches over me when that is the portion. The Lord is my portion, saith my soul. Therefore, I hope in him. You can't understand the portion if you don't understand the power of the portion. Pastor's back. You can't understand the portion of God if you don't understand the power of the portion that God resides in. And so what we need to understand is that God is that portion, that part that's missing, that part that's empty, that part that's barren, that part that seems to not be able to fulfill you. There are moments where we have to make sure that we don't put a thing in the place where God should be the portion. A lot of times we find ourselves in circumstances that we don't really want to be in because we've replaced a thing where we should have replaced with a portion. I dare you to look at the empty part of it and replace it with the God being your portion. The Lord is good to those who wait for him, to the soul who seeks him. Jeremiah says, remember my affliction. Remember. And Dre, I'm trying to be good. I just got back. I'm trying to be good. I'm going to try to wait until Sunday to really go. Hey, Tweet, I'm doing my best. I'm going to try to, but it says the Lord is my portion. Come on. How many of us can be honest and say that we've replaced the portion of God with the thing that makes us feel good? Woo! We have replaced the healthy portion with the portion that feeds my ego. Come on, y'all. We have replaced the portion of God with the thing that soothes our desires. And we got to make sure that we don't try to fill a portion and end up replacing the portion. Because you can put a portion of anything in a space that's empty, but that don't mean that it's going to fill it. What you mean, Pastor? You ever been around, been in a room full of people and still feel empty?
Why? Because you're feeding yourself with the wrong portion. Come on. You ever see people that spin because they think that purchasing things is going to fill the empty void. And what we do is we try to fill the empty void with things that soothes us. When there comes a time where God has to be the portion that you fill the empty void with, right? The path forward requires us filling the emptiness with the portion that's healthy and sustaining, right? We no longer want to live from day to day. I want to live for my future. I don't want to live until the next week. I want to live for the next 3-4 years. I want to have longevity in my experience of my future. But that becomes very short term when we fill the emptiness with the thing for the moment instead of filling it with the portion that fulfills your future and your destiny. Right? And so when we see here, when we look at this particular text here, when we look at Lamentations chapter 3, it was written by Jeremiah. Okay, the prophet Jeremiah writes this particular book, and the purpose of Lamentations, watch this, was to teach people that when you disobey God, you are inviting disaster into your life. Okay, let's see who's going to be honest tonight. Who can type in the comments and say that this last disaster had nothing to do with the enemy? It had everything to do with my inability to obey God. Come on. If that's you, just say it's me. If that's you, just say it's me. Come on. We are honest with that. Who can testify? Who can testify and say that the disaster that I have experienced has absolutely nothing to do with the devil? The disaster, the frustration, it had nothing to do with the devil. This had everything to do with my inability to obey God. Come on, y'all. Come on. If it's you, say it's me. Let's testify tonight, right? This don't have nothing to do with nobody hating on you. This don't have nothing to do with nobody not supporting you. This don't have nothing to do with nobody trying to steal your dream. This don't have nothing to do with nobody plotting on you. This has everything to do with the fact that when you disobey God, you allow disaster to be a part of your present day. Come on, y'all. Come on. If it's you, it's you. If it's you, it's you. Right? I have had to look at myself in moments of my life and say, this moment, this disaster, this catastrophe has nothing to do with anybody. This has everything to do with my inability to obey God when he spoke to me. I am cautious. Watch this. I am cautious of people. I am very cautious of people who can only speak of what God tells them about people and can never share with me what God has said about them. And if truth be told, if you really have a relationship with God the way that you say you do, nobody needs to tell you when you need to check yourself. Because if you have a relationship with God, God will check you before he reveals anything to you about anybody else. Right? And so the purpose of this, Jeremiah, the purpose of this was to teach people that when you, watch this, when you disobey God, you invite disaster into your life. Disaster has come in and taken a seat because you invited it. I got to check my circle. No, you don't need to check your circle. You need to check your decisions. Come on, y'all. Come on. Come on, I got to watch the people that surround me. No, you don't need to watch the people that surround you. You need to watch your conversation. Because your disobedience is the thing that has invited disaster into your life, right? Lamentations, watch this, Lamentations comes from the root word lament, right? Which means to have the passionate expression of grief, sorrow, or weeping. When we are disobedient to God, what happens is we find ourselves lamenting, right? We find ourselves with an expression of grief or sorrow. Why? Because of the decisions that we have made that have caused us to find ourselves where we are. And this path forward, watch this, this path forward requires us taking the spotlight off of everybody else and turning the spotlight on yourself. Come on here. This next season, this future, right, that we've been talking about, this future requires us taking an in-depth look at the decisions that we have made. And you can't blame anybody for what you have willingly participated in. Say it again. We can't blame anybody for what we have willingly participated in. But what we can do is do like Jeremiah said and recall to your mind, and therefore your hope will change. Because what happens is the human perspective, the human mind, the human feelings automatically reaches for another human thing when something goes wrong. But what we have to do is stop relying on man and rely on God in the moments that are not the best. And so what Jeremiah is trying to get the people to understand is when you think about what you're going through, you ought to be glad that you still woke up with a fresh start, a new beginning, and another chance. And stop complaining about what did not work. And thank God that he didn't allow you to die in the thing that you wanted to work, but could not work because it was designed to kill you. But God loved you enough to not allow it to kill you. Come on, y'all. Come on. Jeremiah his grief inside of Lamentations runs deep, which is why he is considered to be the weeping prophet. He's not a weeping prophet because he was a crybaby. He's not a weeping prophet because he was just crying for no reason. No, Jeremiah is known as the weeping prophet because of the grief that he had running deep, seeing a people that were dying, not because God didn't call them, not because God didn't anoint them, not because they weren't gifted, not because they weren't God's people, but because they were not obedient to the voice of God. The path forward requires us being able to look within ourselves and say, what are the things that we need to do, right? There are three things that are vital to you continuing on the path forward, right? The first thing is you've got to recall your past, right? When Jeremiah says recall to your mind, he is telling you to go back to the thing that God has already brought you out of. Recall to your mind all of the times that God has already brought you out. Recall to your mind all of the times that God has already made a way. Recall to your mind all of the times that God looked out for you. Recall to your mind all of the times that God covered you. Recall to your mind all of the times that God lifted you. And if we be honest, the truth is that we are still in debt of praise for what God did before. Come on, y'all. It's not about what he hasn't done now. Some of us still owe him from what he did the last time. Because the truth is, the last time he brought you out was the same time that you told him before he wouldn't have to bring you out from that again. But when you came around, God was still faithful and granted you a brand new mercy and brought you out of the thing that you told him he would never have to deliver you from again. And so the first thing we need to do is, before we ask God for anything, is recall to our past and thank him for everything that he's already done. Come on, who am I talking to tonight? Before we ask God for another for another move, for another open door, for another way made, for another way out, can we go back and say, God, you know what? Let me thank you for the way that you've already made. Let me thank you for the thing that you've already done. Let me bless you for the moments that I missed. Come on. Let me thank you for the times that I took advantage of you. Let me thank you for the times that I did not say thank you when you brought me out of the thing that you did not have to bring me out, but you chose to bring me out because of the portion that you decided to give me. Come on. Your portion is healthy. And we have to be careful. Watch this. We have to be careful that we don't get so comfortable that you lose sight of the fact that what you are conquering still has the power to conquer you if you aren't mindful. I'll say it again. We have to be careful that we don't become so comfortable that we lose sight of what God has allowed you to conquer. Because the moment that you let your guard down, that thing has the ability to conquer you again. Mike Thomas, I love you, boy. We have to be so mindful that you thank God for where he brought you from. But you don't become so arrogant of where he brought you from that you lose sight that that thing could still conquer you. Why? Because that thing is still in you. Come on. Some of us been praying for that thorn. What are you talking about, Pastor? I'm talking about the thorn that's in your flesh. The thing that you've been praying for. Paul said, I prayed 3 times that the Lord would remove it. And he said, no. I'm not going to remove it, but I'm going to give you grace. I'm going to give you discipline to maintain it. But when we become unfocused and when we lose sight, then we lose discipline on the thing that we should be conquering. And we allow the thing to conquer us. I want you to type in the comments, this thing won't conquer me. Come on, type in the comments, this thing won't conquer me. Recall your past. Number 1, recall your past. Number 2, reconsider your present. Reconsider your present. There are moments where you have to recall where God brought you from and reconsider where you are now. Why? Because there are times when what you look at mirrors where you came from. What you saying, Pastor? As holy as you are, as holy as you are, as anointed as you want people to believe you are, the reality is we all have something that stares us in the face every day. It is the thing that will challenge you. It is the thing that wants your destiny. It is the thing that wants you to lose sight. It is the thing that wants to take you off focus. And so you have to be mindful that you recall to your mind how God allowed you to conquer this thing that is currently sitting before you again. Because what you know about the enemy is he will go away for a season, but he will return to see if you will stand on what you said. And so there are moments where you have to reconsider your present. What are you saying, Pastor? Reconsider if you're focused. Reconsider if you're around the right group of people. Reconsider if you're in the right posture. Reconsider if you're really as focused as you should be. And if your present doesn't involve people that can challenge you to be better, then you should reconsider who you're connected to. In this season, you don't need yes people. You need people that will challenge you to reach God's expectation of you, right? You got to recall to your mind where he brought you from. Because the truth is, many of us have dealt and are dealing with challenging moments that life brings all of us. If life didn't teach me anything, life has taught me that you don't know when life is going to throw you a curveball. But if you are not prepared, watch this, not prepared for the news, but prepared spiritually to handle what comes your way, then you will succumb to the thing that is trying to overtake you. This thing keeps coming back your way. I don't know who I'm talking to tonight. This thing keeps coming back your way because you've been able to suppress it and succumb it for now. But it's going to keep reappearing because it wants your destiny. But you got to recall to your mind and have hope, knowing that the reason I'm still moving is because when I recall to my mind, I realize it is of the Lord's mercies. Come on. You think that thing that, listen, the enemy knows what you like. He is never going to tempt you with what you do not like. He's never going to try to distract you with the thing that is not your flavor. If anything, he will heighten it to make it look more presentable. Why? Because he doesn't care about the act. He doesn't care. He wants your future. Because your future keeps his kingdom under subjection. Come on, your calling keeps his kingdom under subjection. Your focus on God keeps his kingdom under subjection. And so when he can't move and he can't operate, then he will try to distract you so that he can get the opportunity to put his head in places that can be damaging. But you got to reconsider your present. And watch this. Sometimes you got to pull yourself back and say, hey, pull yourself in. Pull yourself back. Reground yourself. Refocus yourself. Settle your emotions. Settle your spirit. And stay focused on your future. Number 3, you have to be able to recommit to your future. You have to recall your past. You have to reconsider your present. And you have to recommit to your future. Watch this. God's grace is sufficient sufficient enough to help us with every challenge. God's grace is sufficient enough to help us with every challenge. If you are in a space or can say, there are some things in my life right now that are challenging me, I want you to type in the comments, things are challenging me. Things are challenging me. Because I want to speak something to you before I get off. So if that's you, I want you to type in the comments, things are challenging me. Things are challenging me. God's grace is sufficient enough to help us with every challenge. And if that's you, I want you to type in the comments, things are challenging me. Things are, I see it. I see y'all. Things are challenging me. Come on. Come on. Type it in the comments. Things are challenging me. You need this next part. I want to know what's challenging you. Come on. Things are challenging me. I see y'all. Come on. Things are challenging me. Type it in the comments. Type it in the comments. Things are, come on. I see y'all. Type it in there. Things are challenging me. Right? These are the things you can't shout over this. You can't dance over this. You can't speak in tongues over this. Right? You have to be sober when you're being challenged because you'll make emotional decisions. Things are challenging me. Good. Good. Thank you for your honesty. Watch this. Watch this. God's grace is sufficient enough to help us with every challenge, right? The definition for sufficient is enough, adequate, and ample. God's grace is enough, God's grace is adequate, and God's grace is ample. God's grace is enough, God's grace is adequate, and God's grace is ample. God's grace is as much as you need it to be to help you through the moment that you think is going to conquer you. God's grace is sufficient. It is enough. God's grace is as much as you need it to be. As much as it requires you to defeat the thing that's trying to defeat you, God's grace is that for you. Sufficient, enough, adequate, acceptable in quality. God's grace is of the quality that is acceptable enough to help you. Some of us get in a moment and we say, this is so challenging. I don't even know what will help me through this. I'm telling you, God's grace is adequate. It has the quality needed to help you through it. Who am I talking to tonight? God's grace is that thing. God's grace is that thing. It is the thing that is enough. It is the thing that is sufficient. It is the thing that is adequate, and it is the thing that is ample. It is, watch this, enough or more than enough. So when your situation seems like it's bigger than you, when that challenge seems like it's bigger than you, when that obstacle seems like it's bigger than you, God's grace is ample. It's more than enough. It's bigger than the thing. It's wiser than the thing. It's more concrete than the thing. It's more conducive than the thing. It's more settling than the thing. God's grace is bigger than your problem. God's grace is bigger than your distraction. Let me tell you something. If you ever want to see God's grace, allow God to vindicate you. It is the greatest lesson of God's grace in your life. It is the moment where God becomes bigger than the thing that seems bigger than you. Pastor, what are you saying? I know that some of you are facing things that seem bigger than you. The challenge seems bigger than you. The task seems bigger than you. The obstacle seems bigger than you. But I'm here to tell you that God's grace is bigger than your obstacle, bigger than your challenge, bigger than your dilemma, bigger than your heartache. It is bigger than your thing. But you got to be able to recall to your mind. That is where the hope comes from. The hope doesn't come from someone telling you. The hope doesn't come from someone else's testimony. The hope revitalizes itself when you're able to recall to your mind. And listen, sometimes you got to remind your memory. What? Sometimes you've got to be the one to remind your memory of what God has done for you. You be the one to remind your memory. Michael Jackson said it best. Do you remember the time? Do you remember the time when God healed you? Do you remember the time when God brought you out? Do you remember the time when God made a way? Do you remember the time when God covered you? Do you remember the time when God kept you? Do you remember the time when God allowed you to escape? Do you remember the time when God didn't allow you to die in the thing that you wanted to die in? You have to remind your memory. Lord, help me tonight. Remind your memory. Come on, y'all. Type it in the comments. Remind your memory. And therefore, you will have hope again. You've lost your hope because you've lost your ability to remind your memory. Sometimes you got to speak to your own mind and say, do you remember when God brought us out? Do you remember when God looked out for us? Do you remember that God has never left us? Do you remember that God has never forsaken us? Sometimes you got to get in your own prayer closet and remind your memory. When you want to give up, remind your memory. When you want to throw in the towel, remind your memory. When you feel like quitting, remind your memory. When the tears are falling down your face, remind your memory. When your heart is broken, remind your memory. Come on, y'all. You got to remind your memory of what God has brought you from. And therefore, you will have hope knowing if God did it before. Even though he may not have done it right now, he has the ability to do it again. Just because he has not done it, it's not because he doesn't have the ability to do it. But you got to remind your memory that just because he has not done it right now does not mean that he will not do it tomorrow. Because he that had begun a good work in, come on, Pastor Craig, he that begun a good work in you will be faithful to complete it. So if he's faithful to complete it, even though he has not done it, remind your memory that he will still do it. Lord, help me. I wish I had a microphone. I wish I was at 1700. I wish I had them boys on the instrument. I promise you, I would probably walk the chairs and preach, remind your memory. I had to remind my memory today. Had to remind my memory today that if God, if I can't, Lord help me. Whoa, if God has done, listen. We are all human, okay? We are all human. I want us to live in a space of sobriety. Let's live in a space of sobriety. Let's not try to be super deep. Let's not try to be super spiritual. Let's not try to act like, we live on this mountaintop. No. There are moments where you will look up like Jesus and say, God, are you serious? God, are you really serious with where you have me right now? And if we are not careful, we will miss what God is trying to show us. And so in order for us to be disciplined, be sober, and be in the right posture, you have to remind your memory that although it looks like it's failing right now, all things work together for the good of them that love the Lord and are the called according to his purpose. That make you cry, the things that make you wonder, the things that make you angry, the things that make you upset, all things work together for the good of them. It didn't say some things. It didn't say just the good things. It didn't say just the things that make you smile. All things, the things that make you smile and the things that make you cry, the things that make you shout and the things that make you fold your arm, the things that make you thank God and the things that make you keep your mouth closed. All things work together for the good of them that love the Lord. You got to remind your memory. I'm hurting right now, but he brought me out before. I don't understand it right now, but I'm over my time. But he brought me out before. I don't get it right now, but he brought me out before. I don't understand why he has me here, but he's never left me. I don't understand why I'm in this place, but he's never forsaken me. I don't understand why I'm going through this, but he's never left me. God has always been there. Remind your memory that in your worst hour, God is still the best thing that ever happened to you. And when you are able, I gotta quit. When you are able to recall to your mind, Elder Tillman, thank you. I had to get this out today. When you are able, Lord help me, when you are able to recall to your mind, therefore you have hope. You have, all is not lost. All is not lost. I don't know who I'm talking to. All is not lost. All is not lost. Some things may not have went the way you thought it was going to go. Come on. Come on. Some things didn't end the way you thought they would. Some things didn't quite pan out the way you thought they would. All is not lost. All is not. Do not backtrack now on the progress that you have made. Do not move because it looks like God is not moving for you. Do not compromise because you feel like that is the only thing you will ever get. Do not quit because you feel like running the race is not given to the swift, nor the battle to the strong, but it's given to the one who has the ability to endure. You have to see this through. And in order for you to see it through, you have to recall to your mind and remind your memory that if God has not done it, it doesn't mean that he can't. It just means he hasn't done it yet. All is not lost. The path forward requires you to remain in it until God brings you through it. The path forward requires you to stay focused until he does it. The path forward requires you to continue to count him sovereign even when it feels like he's not there. The path forward does that. All of us have a past, and the past does nothing for you. If you notice when you get in your car, and I'm done. When you get in your car, Lord help me, there's a rear view mirror that you have, and you have a front windshield. Talk, Pastor. And if you notice, Lord help me, the further you get up the road, the further back that rear view mirror looks. Why? Because it's the thing that's behind you. It's the past. It's the thing that you've passed by. And some of you have passed by a thing, and it's in your rear view mirror, and it keeps calling you back because it's a comfort level, because it doesn't want you to believe in the thing that's before you, because the thing before you looks bigger than the thing that's behind you. But the thing that's behind you can't help you. But when you're able to realize that the rear view mirror is just a reminder of where God brought you from, and the front view mirror is the thing to show you where God is taking you, you will never reconsider your past again. You have to endure until the end. All is not lost. What? I'm done. I promise I'm done. This is the last thing I'm saying, and I'm done. Even if, Lord help me. Lord help me. Even if you lose some things, all is not lost. Even if you lose some people, all is not lost. Even if you feel like you've lost some opportunities, all is not lost. Recall to your mind. Therefore, you have hope. Jeremiah was burdened down with the nation's inability to believe God after he had brought them through so much. Jeremiah's plea to them in this text is because he's saying, I know where we are right now. And it does not look the best, but it's surely not where God has brought us from. Jeremiah said, when I recall to my mind, when I remember where God brought us from, I have a hope. I have hope, knowing that if he brought us from that, he will bring us from this. Recall your past. Recall your past. Reconsider your present. And recommit to your future. I want you to type in the comments, I have a future. Tweet, I know it was. I know it was. I literally railroaded Elder Tillman. I said, I need to teach this tonight. I want y'all to type it. I have a future. I have a future. And I don't know who I'm talking to, but the Lord told me to tell you, stop crying over that thing. You still have a future. Type it in. I have a future. Zay, I love you, man. I have a future. I don't know who it's for, but the Lord told me to tell you, stop crying over the thing. You still have a future. And if you, Lord, I feel you. God, he said, stop crying over the thing because you still have a future. You just got to reconsider your present. Your future is still intact. I have a future. We're going to continue with the path forward on Sunday. Again, Elder Tillman, thank you. I had to get this lesson out tonight. The Lord instructed me and put it on me to give it. Nope, I'm not tapping in nothing. I'm getting off of here. I got to go. Listen, I don't know. Somebody has been weeping. Somebody has been smiling in front of people and weeping behind closed doors. The Lord told me to tell you to let it go and stop crying over it. I don't know who it's for, but it's for somebody. It's in my spirit, and God won't let it go. Somebody has literally been crying theirself to sleep at night because the thing that you love don't love you like you love it. And you know it doesn't love you like you love it. But you're so fearful to let it go because you don't think that you can do better. God help me. But the Lord told me to tell you tonight, cry your last tear and let it go. It's going to destroy your future. It's going to destroy your future. God said, let it go. It's going to destroy your future. It may hurt, but God said, take your licks and move on. Take your licks and go on about your business. Take your licks and rebuild. God said you have enough to rebuild with. God said stop holding on to the thing that's destroying you. It's destroying your faith. It's destroying your mind. It's destroying your self-esteem. God said, let it go. Let it go and move into your next space. God said, let it go. You're trying to make the thing see you. You're trying to make the thing, Lord, help me, see your value. You're trying to make the thing see that you got a future. But God said, you got to let it go. You got to let it go and move knowing God is going to keep you. God is going to comfort you. And God is going to take you through it. God said, let it go. Let it go. It's all right. Let it go. God is going to carry you through this next phase of your life. Trust me. God said, let it go. And I'm going to show you that I'm for you. I got to go. I got to get off of this. Y'all, come on. Get your offering tonight. Get your seed. Get your seed. I feel God strong. I got to get out of here. I got to get out of here tonight. Come on. Get your seed. $ Kingdom DT19. Mother Wilson, nope, I'm not responding to nobody. I'm ignoring all comments. Get your Givelify and Kingdom Deliverance Tabernacle. Get your $10 seed. I'm not going to even read the comments because y'all are going to push me. And nope, I'm not doing it. $ Kingdom DT19. $ Kingdom DT19. Or you can go to Givelify and type in Kingdom Deliverance Tabernacle. Come on, let's get our $10 seed tonight. Come on, everybody, get your $10 seed and type done when you're done. I feel God. I cannot wait for Friday. Lord knows I can. Lord knows I can. I cannot wait for Friday. I cannot wait. I cannot wait till Friday. Lord, just get me to Friday. Lord, just get me to Friday. Please remember my grandmother in your prayers. Just remember my grandmama in your prayers. Just whisper a prayer for her, y'all. And keep Mother Wilson in your prayers. Keep Mother Wilson in your prayers. All is well. Everybody's good. Just keep my grandmom and my mom in your prayers for me. Please do. Come on. I just got to get to, don't wear no lashes on Friday. I'm telling you, you better be comfortable and you better be ready. Because God is going to sweep through Friday and get out the thing that's stopping your future. If you come with the mindset of expectation, I promise you, God is going to remove the thing that's blocking your future. He's going to remove the thing that's blocking your future. Some of you are so bound. Some of you are so bound by the thing that tells you you will not make it without it. Lord, I love you. Lord, I love you. Some of you are bound by the thing that wants you to believe that you will not make it without it. But I promise you on Friday, God is going to show you the value that you have within you. God's going to show you, and you're going to stand on your own, and you're going to be great. You're going to be great. Come comfortable. Come comfortable. Come respectable, but come comfortable. Come respectable, but come comfortable. We are going after God. We going after God. We going after God. Friday promises to be something that we have never experienced before. If my people, which are called by my name, would humble themselves and pray, seek my face, turn from their wicked ways. He said, then will I hear from heaven. I need God to hear from heaven for all of us. I need God. And if you don't have the strength to listen, if you don't have the strength to turn, listen, if you got it all together and you breathe the breath of God and you ain't got no shortcomings, I ain't talking to you. I'm talking to the ones that's like me that say, I need God to help me with some stuff that's still in me. I'm not talking to the ones that's sanctified, got it all together. Thank God for you. We love you. I'm talking to the ones that said, I'm trying my best. I'm better than what I used to be, but I want to be even better than what I am now. You are the ones that I'm talking to. We are going after God together. We're going to pull each other out. We're going to pull each other through. We're going to pray each other through, and God is going to hear from us. God's going to hear us. He is going to hear us. God will hear our call. God is not bringing nobody to see nothing and nobody. Everybody that's coming needs to see you and yourself. God ain't sending nobody. God has already told me he is not sending nobody to see nothing and nobody. God is not showing nobody nothing and nobody on Friday. Friday is self-examination. Every man for himself. Go after God. The thing that you need work on, that's what we gonna give to God. And we're gonna ask God to help us, to guide us, to aid us, and pull us to where we need to be. But Pastor, I'm not there yet. Neither am I. I am trying my best every single day. Well, Pastor, I still got some stuff, and so do I. And that's why we all going together. We all going to the altar together. This is not a pastor look at you. No, this is the pastor, and everybody is going after God as a joint community on Friday. We are going after God, and we're going to pull on God until he hear from us. I promise you the very foundation of 1700 West Pratt Street will be shaken on Friday. It will be shaken on Friday. And you're going to see your life transform. You're going to see your life transform in the space that you thought it could never be. God's going to show you what's really inside of you, and he's going to do it for you. Father, we thank you and we bless you. We love you. Thank you for these, your people. Father, we thank you for you going ahead of us. We thank you for you going already to the tabernacle to meet us there on Friday. God, we're coming with our hands lifted. We're coming with our mouths open. We're coming with our minds focused on you. Father, we're coming as a people, asking you to forgive us of everything and help us make it through the thing that continues to control us, the thing that continues to try to overtake us, the thing that continues to challenge us, because we know that your grace is sufficient. But God, we are coming as humble people for you to help us get through the next phase of our journey. And we're believing you to do all things well. Father, touch every house, touch every home, touch every family on this live today. Father, continue to bless them, continue to watch over them, and continue to keep them is my prayer. In Jesus' name, amen. Listen, I love you all. I appreciate you all. Thank you, Mother Wilson. It's good to be back. I am excited to be back. I'm excited for what the Lord is going to do for us. And I am excited for everybody to meet us this coming Friday. This coming Friday, 1700 West Pratt Street, 10 p.m. Meet me on the altar for prayer. I love you, and I see you on Friday.